An old man is lying on a hospital bed. He is in the final stage of his life. His health due to aging is declining. His children and grandchildren are sobbing. They have heard from the doctor. I did my best. I'm very sorry. Memories were racing in his mind. He is remembering himself as a playful boy. He studied at school, played with friends, and he met the girl he loved. When he grew up, he got a job and married the woman he had loved since school. He experienced a sense of bewilderment when he first became a father and shared the responsibility of caring for their child with his wife. Unfortunately, his wife passed away before him. He can reunite with the ones he loved most in heaven, where his wife and parents are. He can also play and laugh with his friends. Closing his eyes, he drifted off to sleep. Pain in his buttocks hit him unexpectedly, caused by a broom. Get out of bed. He sees his mother, the one he thinks he will never see again. His mother is always angry every morning. He has to wake up immediately. Dream? He looks at his mother, feeling as if it has been a very long time since he last saw her. Mom. He is like a child snuggling into his mother's arms. During his time as a father, it made him realize the most sacred love, a mother's love. He has been able to return to being a student. He hears his mother scolding him continuously for an hour before going to school. Brush your teeth quickly. Did you review your lessons last night? This is your breakfast. Here. He is smiling joyfully while listening to his mother's voice. His mother thinks he is crazy. He and Nam, his best friend, go to school. He sees his classmates teasing each other in the classroom. He feels an indescribable nostalgia for the past. What's wrong with him? I don't know. Could he have been dumped by me? He sees his wife in her youthful appearance. He recalls the past. Femme Twitini, the beauty queen of the class. She is a fair lady. So clever. She's a bright student and the girl that men chase after. She suddenly broke up after they had been getting to know each other. I'm sorry. Her words hurt him deeply. The old man had grown accustomed to this happening. He tried to get her attention, always showing care and kindness, but in the end they were just friends. Why? I don't like you. You're too childish. What if I mature? Despite the harsh breakup, he was determined to win over the woman he loved. He decided to pursue her despite the challenges. She always firmly refused. He couldn't win over that woman, even though he scored high on the tests. When he got married, he understood why she didn't love him. She hates him. Teenage love is beautiful. Many people imagine it with words like pure, innocent, selfless, and so on. That's why every student races to fall in love. She hates people like that. They chase love as if it were an achievement they must have, boasting about it like a source of personal pride. He was like every other man who had tried to win her over. In her eyes, he was just a child wanting to have what he liked at any cost. She only wanted to study, as her parents expected. She didn't want to be in a relationship. The old man once thought that if he just tried hard enough, he could win her affection. He had learned the truth. That girl doesn't want a relationship. She wants to fulfill her responsibility as a child by focusing on her studies. So she feels he is too childish, only trying to win the love of the girl he likes without truly caring about her. She doesn't need him. And now he has turned back time. He sees his wife. She's still so beautiful, even though he knows she never noticed him. She rolled her eyes as he kept trying to win her over. Everyone sees him as a blind fool in love. Nam, his friend, advises him to give up. The old man turns back time and he is at the point when they were friends. She hated him, but he still wanted to pursue that girl just like before when he was a young man chasing after his wife. He has always loved his wife. Despite her changing appearance or her inability to return his feelings, he only sees her as the one he loves. I love you. I'm sorry. Okay. You want to ask me, don't you? You can't love me, I know. I want to love you. I want you to know that. Something happened that was not as she expected, and she felt a little awkward. Can you help me? Yes? He squeezes her. The old man has missed his wife since he lost her. He was a single father. He had to be strong for the family he needed to protect. He wished he had his wife by his side, but he had nothing except his child. He cried when his child comforted him. He wraps her in his arms. His wish comes true. She smacks him. That's the consequence of a man touching a girl without her permission. The old man wants to fulfill his last wishes. He had wanted to play with his friends, and now he is surrounded by them. He remembers the days when he used to yawn while listening to the teacher's lecture. Now he's sleeping at his desk. He plays a prank on his friend. He wants to live as carefree as possible. He returns home after school and does the housework. He helps his mother cook and set the table. His mother is shocked by how obedient her son is. His parents whisper while having dinner. He asks for permission to stay in his quiet room to do his homework, leaving his father to wash the dishes. Who are you? I'm your son. Why are you doing your homework? I have to review the lessons. The teacher will have a test tomorrow. You need me to complain, don't you? His mother can't believe that her son is a responsible person. She remembers her childhood when her father used to carry her on his back. She remembers her hands gripping onto the sturdy shoulder. She has heard her father's warm voice. His strong arms supported her, allowing her to sleep peacefully. She was unexpectedly hugged by a man and is now thinking about him. She had no idea that he would be her husband in the future. She can't sleep. He held her tightly in his arms. She could feel his heart beating. He keeps walking around in her mind and she can't stop thinking about him. Get out of my head. In the past, the old man pursued his wife despite all difficulties. She used him as an excuse to reject dating other men. That made everyone around feel confused. If she still loved him, why did they break up? The men who confessed their feelings to her were angry because she was single but refused to date. She seemed like a woman who acted arrogant, believing herself to be superior in their eyes. Teenage love is something everyone acknowledges as normal. Love is seen as an achievement to brag about, and everyone wants to have it. As a result, she became the image of a good girl in the eyes of her friends. She wasn't someone who loved studying and spent all her time on it. When she received a confession, she hesitated a little. She thought she had to do something for the person who had feelings for her, but she truly didn't want to date someone she didn't genuinely love. She rejected those who confessed their feelings to her, and then they threw hurtful words at her. Cheap hooker. What a waste of time. The men looked at her as someone who intentionally pretended to be single to seduce men, viewing the victim she seduced as a source of pride. She didn't want to love. She just wanted to say no, but everything she said was understood as mocking others. She knew her classmate was the same. She was sure he would say something hurtful to her, so she didn't hesitate to tell the truth that she thought he was a childish boy. Present, the old man in the form of a young man just wants to love the person he desires. He pursues her because he wants to live like a young boy dreaming of love. That girl in his eyes was always the image of a beautiful woman, and he always wanted to take pride in his wife. He truly was a childish man, boasting about his own love. Ni is mine. She acts as though he isn't here and avoids questions about the relationship between her and the classmate. After a long week of study, he loves to lounge in bed. He plays online games with his friends, and his mother is watching her son. She hears the news that he is heartbroken. She really wants to comfort her poor son who is trying to forget a sad event. She wants him to feel better while taking a walk outside. So, she gives him some pocket money and tells him to buy a few things. I hope you are always happy, my son. As time goes by, the pain fades. He doesn't understand the meaning of her words. He walks to the supermarket, buys the items his mother asked for, and also picks up an ice cream to eat while walking home. He sees someone across the street. Person gives him a sense of familiarity. She picks up a plastic bottle from the sidewalk and puts it into a large bag. He follows her like a stalker. The old man followed someone he happened to see on the street. It was Ni, the girl he loved. She, along with her friends, was carrying out an environmental movement. They decided to collect litter that had been carelessly discarded and planned to gather together to share their results. The park, Ni's friends are worried. They tell Ni about the stalker who has been secretly following her without her knowing. It is none other than her classmate, Lair Mung Hung. He is determined to win her love even though she has rejected him. She has seen his actions as childish, as if he wants everything to revolve around him like he is the center of the universe. However, she noticed that he was a bit strange. He was still childish and in love with her, but but he spoke like an old man sharing wisdom as if he had lived his entire life. She guessed he wanted to flirt with her, but she thought he might be mentally unstable with some kind of bizarre obsession. She does not realize that it is just an old man admiring the wife he loves. She looks at him as if she is looking at an insect she despises. Before the police arrest you, do you have anything to say? Because I love you? Get away from me, you freak. This is just a coincidence. I am a man, but you make me sad. The old man feels like his dream is coming true. He once lost the wife he loved the most and went through a time when he had to face many difficulties in life. A feeling of unease and anxiety followed him whenever he wished for someone to be there to talk to. It gave him many regrets about what had passed, and he missed the most beautiful days he ever had. Then he went back in time to his school days, becoming a young man dreaming of an eternal love that didn't exist when he first fell in love. He can look at the person he loves no matter how old she is or how much she changes. But his actions make her misunderstand him as a creep who likes sneaking around behind women. Get away from me, you freak. He knows he must win over his wife, and the old man recognizes something unusual through his experience. After many years of loving his wife, he can tell when she is upset. To him, women remain a mysterious world. When women are angry, they don't say they're angry. They intentionally pretend not to be to hide their true feelings because they can't make it too obvious. Women always say they're fine, but it means they're not fine. Every attitude and gesture of a woman needs attention, otherwise men are seen as insensitive. That is a complex theory he has learned while living with his wife. Are you free? What do you want? What do you think about going for a walk with me? She hates childish people. And she was certain she would never fall in love with her classmate. Her classmate was exactly the kind of person she despised the most. He was a childish guy who only demanded what he wanted without understanding his own reality. She couldn't love someone who acted like a wise person, pretending to be experienced in life while still behaving like a child. Most of all, she hated him because he had followed her like a stalker, someone she imagined constantly thinking about indecent things with women. She hates him, but she accepts his invitation to go for a walk. She hates wasting time on a stalker. Talking is a good idea to understand his thoughts and convince him that he shouldn't pursue her. She will clearly express all her thoughts about him. She hates people who give gifts without considering her feelings about them. She finds such people too fake, but she accepts the ice cream he gives her. Do you like ice cream? Thanks. Wait, I hate you. Okay. She is sure she follows him because she wants to explain everything clearly to him. But they look like they are on a date. He seems like a boyfriend trying to calm his lover's anger, staying silent at every complaint she makes. I hate you. Stay away from me, stalker. Her classmate is actually an old man. He is used to hearing things that hurt his heart. Whether his wife is a young woman or an old middle-aged woman with wrinkles on her face, he knows that she only changes her appearance, and her personality never changes. He reminisces about the time he spent with his wife. Everything is still like the memories he has. Are you an idiot unable to understand human language? I can only tell you this, I am a strong man. I know sadness, but I can endure it. The old man had turned back time. He was able to admire the image of his young wife and invited her for a walk, something he had only done once during his school days because after that, his wife had rejected his feelings after a period of getting to know each other. He knows she doesn't like him and she constantly says hurtful things to him. The truth is that she will never stop hating him. He knows that, but he is forced to hear it directly from her. He knows she is a woman. He can't figure out what he did wrong, and a woman can get angry without any reason. Although he can't find the answer to what made her angry, he knows he has to do something to show he cares. This sometimes tires him because he can't understand what she's thinking. She might happily accept the ice cream he gave her and then continue to scold him. She complains about his actions of pursuing her, calling him a stalker, but she's walking with him for no special reason. She doesn't refuse to sit next to him on the park bench. They both look out at the lake. The fountain in front, together with everything around it, creates a romantic setting. They really look like they're on a date. She doesn't eat the ice cream because she's focused on something else. The person next to her, he can't feel comfortable with someone always staring at him. The ice cream melts and its drops fall onto her shirt. He hands her a handkerchief to wipe it and offers her a hair clip to keep her hair from covering her eyes when the wind blows. She gets curious because he has items meant for girls and he doesn't hide anything when she asks. She looks and is surprised to find that his jacket and pants pockets always hold items an ordinary man wouldn't carry. Hair ties in her favorite colors, a needle already threaded inside a tiny case, and a small piece of paper with a pen clipped to it. All those things make her angry. She questions him. The old man has turned back time, living in the body of a young man. He can live like a young person, following his hobbies, having fun with friends, attending school daily, and living with his family. However, he still shows maturity. He understands his parents' thoughts, which makes him more responsible. His parents mistakenly think he has some strange illness. People around him also notice his change. He keeps habits and ways of thinking filled with the experience of an old man. One of his habits is keeping items that people think belong to women. The girl he loves questions his belongings, proving she cares about him. Although he feels happy about it, he explains before things go too far. He doesn't want her to misunderstand and think he doesn't love her. He tells her that he bought all the women's items he carries himself. He sees doubt on her face. Are you trying to say something to me? Don't worry, you're completely normal. I also like makeup. We can be friends. I'm a man. Turning back time is impossible, but the old man actually did it. He finds it hard to explain to the girl who will become his wife in the future. He doesn't want to confuse her, but he struggles to explain because he doesn't understand why he can meet her and everyone he believes he cannot meet again. The girl cannot believe she will agree to marry a man with such a childish personality. Yet something makes her hesitate. What she sees is a classmate who has changed a little. He is still stubborn, but somehow that stubbornness makes him more attractive to her. Everything can be explained if she assumes he is mentally ill or dreams of a prophetic vision of the future. She can even suspect he is deliberately lying to charm her, making up ideas in his head and believing his own imagination is real. I love you. That's the only thing you can trust me on. 'Cause if I wanted to win you over, I could lie. But I know you don't want someone who always lies to be with you. Don't you want to believe in your husband? I don't like cheesy love confessions from childish men. Really? Say all that to your wife, not me. I don't like cheesy confessions either, but I thought you might like it. Maybe I was wrong to think all girls love romance. The one who loves you isn't me. I also don't understand why your wife taught you everything, wanting you not to need her by your side. Haven't you asked why she wanted to leave you? Children are the most precious thing he can hold on to. As time passed, the people he cherished disappeared one by one. His parents, who loved him unconditionally, said their goodbyes. He could only meet the friends who were still alive. The wife he relied on was gone when he needed emotional support. Loneliness engulfed him many times. He had to accept the truths that became the laws of nature. Nothing was allowed by nature to exist forever. Humans could not live eternally. What his wife left behind for him was her wish that he could be strong without her by his side. He could take care of his daughter himself with hairpins and hair ties. He needed something to write down reminders when he became a forgetful old man. He could sew his own clothes even though he was a man. He always kept the handkerchief his wife gave him, even though she wanted him to use it to clean up every time his trembling hands caused spills. Thank you. The hospital, the children and grandchildren cry. The old man cries too. His hand clutches a handkerchief tightly.